I'm going to show you a campaign strategy that we use to help businesses get past $100,000 a month in attributable email marketing revenue. My name is Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and this is literally all I do. High-level strategy for e-commerce businesses when it comes to email and SMS marketing. If you have any questions, chuck them down in the description to this video. I answer anything and everything you guys ask. And also check the description out. There's a bunch of free resources that I've created for you guys that you can use to help your business get past that $100,000 a month email and SMS attributed marketing revenue. Now, without wasting any more of your time, let's get into the video. So this is a more complex email marketing strategy, specifically if you're running a sale. So let me start in phase one, which is the segmentation. Now, before I go any further, you have access to this document, link in the description. It's free, it's yours. So feel free to follow along what I'm doing here by actually just opening up the document itself. So there's also another video here that talks about this in a different format. But basically what we're gonna be looking at doing is we're gonna be creating different segments. So from a very basic perspective, how we're gonna be treating email marketing is we're going to be sending different emails for this sale to different people based off their purchase behavior. The thinking here is that somebody who's placed, for example, 3, 4, 5 orders overall time doesn't need the same type of discount that somebody who has never placed an order before. And so what this strategy here aims to do is it aims to launch a sale by giving people different levels of discounts to then ensure that we make the same amount of revenue with more profit. As an example, if I'm somebody who's bought 5 times, right, and my brother sitting next to me has never bought from you guys before, and we launch a sale, side by side, who do you think needs 50% off to make that first purchase or just to get a sale versus who do you think needs 10% off? It's probably going to be me. I need 10% because I'm already an advocate for your brand, but my brother needs that 50%. He needs more convincing to make that purchase. And so what you want to be doing here is you want to create the following segments. These segments are basically non-purchasers, one-time purchasers, two-time purchasers, three-time purchasers or more, and then an engaged 90-day segment, and then an engaged 90 days and didn't place an order during the sale. We'll talk about this later on, but as you can see here, what we're doing here is we're assigning different discounts to these people based off of what they've purchased, okay? So people who've never ordered before, we're going to give them the biggest discount. People who have ordered before, we're going to give them less of a discount. People who've ordered 2 times, we give them even less. People who've ordered 3 or more times, we give them even less. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking like, oh my God, you know, shouldn't I be rewarding people who've demonstrated loyalty to my brand? There's an argument there, but at the end of the day, you're a business and you're in the business of making money. And if you want to make sure that you make the most amount of money, most amount of profit, you want to make sure you maximize how many people simply place an order with you and maximize the revenue that you can get from those orders. So you're also going to create the 90-day engaged segment. We're actually just going to play with these later. And you have obviously the 30% off, which is the email we're going to send. I'm going to talk about these a little bit later, but email that we're going to send to people who have not placed an order during the sale period that we're doing. I'll talk about that shortly. Then, pardon me, what you're going to then want to do is you're going to want to create a series of pop-up forms. And these pop-up forms are going to target these specific segments. And what these pop-up forms are going to do are they're going to display the discount codes that you're giving these people in the sale that you're doing. So really important to use static codes. And what you're going to do here is if somebody is in this segment here, for example, segment 1, non-purchasers, right? They're going to get the 30% off discount code, right? You're going to reiterate it both by a campaign, like, hey, you get 30% off, but you're also going to have a pop-up that says, don't forget to use your code for 30% off. This pop-up form is going to target only this segment. Really important. You make sure that once you have these segments created, you clone them, convert them to a list, and make sure the form only targets that list. The reason we do that is because segments change based off of people's behavior. You want the offer to be consistent with them throughout the sale period. Because if you had, for example, the 30% off discount code being showed to them here, and they placed an order, they would move out of the non-customer segment, right? Because segments are behavioral based. And they then move into the segment 2, where you're displaying a 25% offer. But you want to have consistency with the offers that you're giving people. So make sure that you convert the segment to a list, clone it, then convert it to a list, so that you can have the segments for the campaigns, and then the campaigns, or rather the lists for the sign-up forms. That way, when somebody's in a list, they are not going to change what they see in the forms based off of what they do to move out of that segment. Hope that makes sense. Essentially what these do is they just reiterate your offer to the segments of people here to get that offer in front of people. It helps get more sales across the line. Now, what you're then going to do is determine your timeline. I like to have an email that comes out 2 weeks before the sale, building hype, right? 2 weeks before your sale goes live, you want to create an email that lets people know the sale is coming, right? At this stage, it's all about building hype. Let people know that they need to start marking their calendars specific dates, and allude to the types of discounts people will have access to, right? Big discounts inbound, big sales inbound, so on and so forth. 1 week before the sale, you want to start building even more hype. Now in this document, I've even made it clear which segments you want to be targeting. In this case, you're targeting 90-day engaged segment. You're just going to keep doing that. Day of sale. Now you're going to launch the sale, and you're going to have different discounts in these sale campaign emails for different segments. Now, day of sale, 15% off. I've even highlighted here what segment you want to target, right? Segment targeted, it's going to be segment 4, right here, because you're giving them 15% off. 3 days after sales start, reiterate the code. Keep in mind, people can be changing from these segments, so it's really important to make sure that you're deciding whether or not you want to send it to the segment or send it to the list. I recommend sending it to the list that has cloned off this behavior, and turning all of these segments into lists right before the first email goes out, so it's static and people are consistently across these emails. Take a look at these, jump in, see what makes sense, right? Follow the sales strategy. This stuff works incredibly well. Obviously, you have the final email that comes the day after the sale, which is just going to go to everybody who hasn't placed an order with your most aggressive offer. This is your segment 6, engage 90 days and didn't place an order during the sale. What you're going to do is you're going to have a follow-up campaign that comes up after the entire sale is done, and anybody who didn't place an order during that sale period, you hit them with the 30% off, your highest offer. Because if they didn't place an order here from all the other ones, it's time to double down and get them into this segment. But this segment here, the one that gets this final email, comprised of people who haven't placed an order before, regardless of how many purchases they've made over all time. Really straightforward, well, not really straightforward, but nonetheless a very useful strategy for maximizing the revenue, rather the profit from the revenue that you get. If you have any questions, let me know. If you like this video, subscribe, ask me any questions. I answer everything that you guys have. Check the comments down below. Check out my newsletter. Awesome link in the description down below as well. Super, super useful if you're doing any sort of email marketing or if you're an e-commerce business. Thanks for watching. As always, subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.